Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nikita Antoine and today we'll be doing a reading for the sign of Virgo. As always, Virgo, all of the readings are timeless, so when the message finds you and resonates, then it is yours at the time in which you find it. Virgo, I've done your spread today with the Hush Tarot by Jeremy Hush. Ooh, there's something peeking out. So you'll be seeing that deck in your spread today. What is this? Hang on, I'm very curious. Oh, okay. So it's the Justice and the Ten of Swords. Justice and the Ten of Swords. This is talking about well, the Justice card it comes up as like providing a living example, and a living example of some type of blossoming. This Ten of Swords has been coming through as like a restructuring of the elements so that new blossoms can arise. It comes, of course, after like a death experience, especially with that Ten of Swords energy. So it's like I'm questioning, is this you? I almost don't feel like this is you, actually. I feel like this is someone else. Because in your reading today, we have, it seems like you are, well, you're trying to prevent yourself from looking back at some type of situation. And with this Ten of Swords, looking back at the ending of some situation, and then the Justice card, it's like following the ending was the justice that came out of it, which is like living as an example. Okay, so it's some type of ending that is brought about living as an example. And that's what's peeking out. Okay, so let's just, I feel like that's a lot of, hang on, I'm just, it's very unexpected. So I'm gazing into it. I feel as though with the bottom of the deck, so on the bottom of the deck, we have Temperance. And this is coming through as like something, someone or something, an energy that I want to say is outside. Well, it could be outside of the situation, or it could be a part of the situation, but like overlooking the situation. I feel like I'm getting nowhere. And I think that that might have something to do with your energy, feeling like you're getting nowhere. All right. So hopefully more information from that will come out a little later. But it seems to me like an energy outside of you, perhaps maybe an individual outside of you, through whatever situation you've gone through with them, there's some type of ending which is causing, well, for them, it looks like it's causing a blossoming for them. It's caused this ending that occurred has put them in this justice energy, which is they are now like a living example of what happens when this Ten of Swords occurs, like the aftermath of the Ten of Swords energy. They're a living example of that. Okay. And then this Temperance energy here is kind of like watching. They're watching the whole thing unfold. Well, they're watching the other blossom. This was coming up in someone else's reading. I think it was in yesterday's reading, in the Libra reading. Like somebody was looking at someone else and it caused them to sense their presence. And when they looked, what they were witnessing was someone else's blossoming after like a really after like an ending of some sort. Okay. I'm not going to do the framework. I think that's plenty of information. All right, so we are starting your reading today, Virgo, with the Eight of Pentacles. And today I've noticed this card, it's like more and more keeps coming out of this card. So today I've noticed that he's actually standing in front of this fire. It's like I'm seeing like multiple layers behind him. So there's actually like a fire behind him. Do you see this here? Like a blazing fire. And it's interesting because it's like he's not even concerned about the fire that happened, well, previously behind you. Like it's almost like using work as a distraction to keep yourself from focusing on some type of, well, I want to call it kind of like a calamity, some type of calamity that happened with that Ten of Swords energy. Like some type of combustion. So it's talking about that something in the past has happened to cause this like fire, and you are doing your best to keep yourself distracted. And you're doing that with your work. You're using work as a distraction. So what I'm seeing next though in this Six of Swords is that, and I feel as though this is what that feeling that I was getting, like I'm not getting anywhere type of idea. It's being presented in this because with the Six of Swords, and you can see all the movement going this way, even though looking back, it's bringing up like, although you're trying to distract yourself with your work, your mind is being pulled in well, it's being pulled in a direction. It's like your mind is still looking at the fire because he in the Eight of Pentacles, he appears to be forward, and in the Six of Swords, it's like there's movement. Do you see what I'm saying? Movement back. So it's like you're in your mind space, although you're trying to distract yourself, you're still looking at the fire, at this fire in the background, even though you're not wanting to. And there's a correlation between the work that you're doing and these piranhas here. See the cards, they're very similar. So there's something about your work, the work that you're doing, is the, hang on one second. it's almost like it's like the work that you're doing is actually, you think that it's distracting you or providing a good distraction for you, but it's actually carrying your focus back to that fire. There's something about that. Like, so that could mean like whatever you're doing, you're very skilled at. And because of that, because you are so skilled at whatever this task is, um, you can kind of go into like an autopilot, is what it's referring to. And when that happens, when your hands are just moving automatically, your body is moving automatically, it's like, because there's no like, kind of like there's no thought process in what your work, what you're doing for your work, because it is so automatic. It's like then your mind can kind of, it's like your mind then wanders. Do you see what I'm saying? So you think that it's like the perfect distraction for you, but it's actually enabling you to take a closer look, to being, it's actually almost like forcing you to look at this fire. Okay, the fire itself is talking about this energy here. It's talking about looking at the transformation from the Ten of Swords into the Justice. There's a shift that's happening here from the Ten of Swords into the Justice, and it seems like that's what you're looking at. That's the fire that you're looking at. You're looking at, well, you're trying not to look at, but you're looking anyways at, I want to say this is someone else's transformation. You're witnessing their blossoming, but you're not wanting to actually look at it, which makes me think that whatever occurred between you, there's no communication, especially with the Six of Swords energy that's coming up here. There's no communication between you and this other. It's like you're just like watching the transformation. So we then move in. So as your mind is going back to the situation, I'm just going to call it the situation, the happenings, whatever that might be, you're running into the Hanged Man energy. So do you see how your mind is moving, bumping directly into this Hanged Man energy? And it's like you're trying, I mean, okay, what's fascinating here is that it looks as though you're trying to find like a different way to look at it, but not really, though. Not really, because you're not trying to look at it. It looks to me like you're just trying to put it in the past. You're trying to put it in the past, but there's something that keeps, like, it keeps bringing it up for you. And not only is it doing it with the Six of Swords, it's doing it with the Hanged Man energy, which is, there's something in it. It's wanting you to look at the situation with like a new set of eyes, with a new perspective of it. Do you see what I'm saying? And what you're looking at is this Lover's energy. You're looking directly at the Lover's energy. But with you having that mask on your, see what I'm saying? He's got a mask over his face. It's kind of like, it's like looking at it, but not actually, it's coming through as like not actually seeing it for what it is, not actually seeing it as the Lover's energy, because it's like you're looking at it and you're wanting to run away from it. You're wanting to see how his body is turned. So he's looking, but then his legs down here and the rest of his body is like wanting to run back. It's you're not seeing it for what it is. So there's some type of like shift the well, I mean, the shift that fire talks about the transmutation, but like a shift in your perspective, and you are purposely like purposely stalling that shift for yourself. Because because you don't want to be entangled. If you're in the Lover's energy, there's kind of like a, that when you look at the Lover's energy, you're gonna see like an entanglement, because there's like down here at the bottom there's a bunch of, I don't know what it is, it's like rope or something that he is trying to actually untangle from. So you're looking at the Lover's energy and you're trying to untangle from the Lover's energy. You're not wanting to have an entanglement, and so you're running the other way. But I often see this hanged man as when he runs the other way, he actually gets tripped up, and he realizes that he's entangled, that he is already in fact entangled. And this was kind of coming up through that Libra reading, where it was referring to like if you create like a psychic link with someone, you're entangled. They can see you and you can see them. So it's like that's what you're trying to drop that. But what's fascinating here is that when you are trying to run or move into another direction, you're moving back into this Six of Swords energy, and you're running into this piranha. Do you see these piranhas? It doesn't feel good. It's kind of like it's giving me a message of like being, um, what is that saying? Like being stuck between a rock and a hard place, something like that. Rock and a hard, I don't know. But it's the same energy of not really getting anywhere. You're, you're, you are trapping yourself between the Lovers and the Six of Swords energy. So like coming together or moving on your own. It's like that there's like an in-between spot. It seems to me like you're not wanting to come together. You are wanting to kind of focus and move on your own, but when you do so, you run into the piranha energy. I don't know much about piranhas other than that they they eat like flesh, right? When you go into the water and there's a bunch of piranhas, like isn't that like a thing? Like they eat the flesh off your bones. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it's like referring to this here. It's like you're meeting back up with this piranha energy, and that piranha energy is referring to your work. Well, it's referring back to the Eight of Pentacles. It may not necessarily be your work. What it's now referring to is it's running you back into um, what's coming through is like mask. Okay, because this Eight of Pentacles it sometimes can talk about shadow work. I think that that's what it's referring to now. Because I see this man here as, well, before I was seeing him as like he stepped behind this creation, but now it's like he's actually inside. He is surrounded by all of these faces, these masks that he wears, and it's like encasing him. And actually what it does is it cements him. It cements him in place until, of course, he breaks away all of the mask. And that's kind of like what this hangman energy is talking about. So it's like you're running right back into having to do some type of shadow work where you're removing um the mask that you wear. And that can be that's talking about here. The mask is like preventing you from seeing the lovers as what it actually is. What exactly is this lovers? And when you're wearing the mask, you're not seeing it for what it is, and so it's causing you to run away. And then you go back, it's like then you're going back into like that shadow work process where you're then breaking down the mask again, and then your mind is it's like it's being then your mind gets redirected, and you have another chance to look at the lover's energy. But it seems like it's a continual process. It's like you look at it for a second, you're trying to get some type of new perspective on the lovers, and then it's like you're running back into your work as a distraction. But when that happens, you see what I'm saying? It's like you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and that's what's keeping you in that hanged man energy. Like what's interesting here is that we did have the Temperance at the bottom of the deck, and this was kind of talking about um like an energy that was overseeing this whole situation. I see it as the lovers, the Temperance. Do you see it's like how this one is like watching the whole situation and is receiving communication from the lover's energy. Because, okay, I see this little bird down here, and there's a little bird here. So the lover's energy is communicating to the okay, hang on a second. This is presenting as you. This is actually you. Oh yeah, because you're the one that's overlooking the lover's energy. So it's like you're receiving communication from the lover's energy. And well, actually what I'm seeing is that um that mask, look at that mask. The mask is being taken off. And when that mask is taken off, the lover's energy can be seen, well, completely. Because like I was saying before, it's like they're looking. Do you see what I'm saying? It can be seen for what it actually is. I am suspecting that you're seeing it for, okay, so you're trying to gain some type of perspective on this. It has something to do with this Ten of Swords and Justice energy. I can't see that just yet. And I feel like maybe you can't see that just yet either, because you haven't yet taken off the mask. Okay, Virgo, I'm going to go ahead and pull some more cards for you. If you are interested in that, you will see the link to the extended in the description box. Okay, bye.